Welcome to these weekly Lenten devotionals. This coming Sunday will be Palm Sunday or Passion Sunday. You're going to hear the story of Jesus riding into Jerusalem on a donkey. Let me read you part of that story from the 21st chapter of Matthew. When Jesus and his disciples had come near Jerusalem and had reached Bethphage, at the Mount of Olives, Jesus sent two disciples and said to them, "Go into the village ahead of you, and immediately you will find a donkey tied, a colt, young donkey. Untie it, bring it to me. If anyone says anything to you, just say this, 'The Lord needs them,' and he will send them immediately." This took place to fulfill what had been spoken through the prophets, saying, "Tell the daughter of Zion, look, your king is coming to you, humble and mounted on a donkey." What is the significance of that? If a king rode into a city on a stallion, he came as a warrior, a conqueror. If a king rode into a city on a donkey, he came as one who wanted to make peace. Jesus, the King of the world, God incarnate, chooses to ride into the holy city on a symbol of peace. The one who could have called down legions of angels to protect himself when he was betrayed, but who instead received the kiss of the betrayer and blessed him by saying, "Friend, do what you're here to do." Jesus, who on the cross prayed for the people who had driven the spikes through his flesh. "Father, forgive them. They just don't know what they're doing." Jesus came as a living witness to the beauty and the power and the godliness of peace, of being at peace and of making peace, even when it's hard to make. Even when we have to make peace with people who haven't necessarily earned it, even as God does with us. The disciples went and did as Jesus had directed them. They brought the donkey and put their cloaks on it, and he sat on it. A very large crowd spread their cloaks on the road, and others cut branches from the trees and spread them on the road. The crowds that went ahead of him and that followed were shouting, "Hosanna, Son of David, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord." I have traveled that road a couple of times from Bethphage down to Jerusalem, and now it leads you through a massive acres and acres and acres of cemetery, these white stone above ground vaults. And as you walk the road that Jesus rode on a donkey, you realize you are going through the symbol of death, following the route that he took. I think it's kind of appropriate to be aware of that. He rode the road of death. He was riding toward a cross. And that's why we call it Passion Sunday. He could have turned around. He knew what was coming, but because of his love for us, he kept going. The road of death, the passion he had for us, caused him to move forward when I probably would have turned around. You know what Hosanna means, right? Hosanna doesn't mean welcome. It doesn't mean praise. You know what the word means? Save us now. That's what Jesus heard when the crowds gathered, waving palm branches and putting their garments on the ground. Look what's happening to us. The boots of the Romans are on our throat. Our own government is stealing from us and in alliance with Pilate and with Caesar. We have nowhere to turn. What shall we do? We can't save ourselves. Hosanna! Lord, save us now. And because of Jesus' passion to help those who cannot help themselves, he kept riding the road of death into Jerusalem, that they and that we might have life. Hosanna, we cry. Lord, save us. We can't do it for ourselves. And Jesus says, look up. You'll see a donkey coming down a hill. I'm moving in your direction.